When humans first made the transition to walking and running instead of climbing and swinging, evolution had a bit of catching up to do. Our legs needed to be narrower and our feet needed to be narrower as well. As you can tell in this wonderful image, compared to a chimpanzee, our legs are narrow, so much that this created problems for evolution. We had to evolve very fast in order to run and walk. I mean, the knee joint looks like a mess. I mean, come on. It's surprising more athletes haven't hurt their knees than the ones that already have. This then brings me to the topic of injury. Specifically today, I'll be talking about my injuries. So my freshman year, I hurt my right hip and it took me out from running for about 2 entire weeks during the track season, which wasn't favorable. My sophomore year wasn't any better. Shortly after cross country season was over, I hurt my left foot and was out for an entire month. And then later in track season, my left hip started hurting rather than my right. My junior year, coming off of cross country, I started training and I was feeling the fittest I've ever been in my life. I was feeling great. And then on a 10-mile run, left hip got strained. I decided to finish out the run because I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta finish the run, dude, even if it hurts. Come home, I feel it grinding around on the hip bone, right? And I'm not consistently training again for the next 3 months because every time I try to run, it hurts. That injury right there was what really took me out of running for the past year and a half a lot. And I still feel some left hip pain very mildly sometimes, like once in a blue moon, you know? I feel it like roll a little bit. But my senior year, I haven't dealt with as much injury, if you will say, but I have experienced a lot of left foot pain starting in September during my cross-country season, and I had to play through it on basketball because my coach told me I'd have to leave if I didn't. So I decided just keep going on it, and it was hurting when I first started track, and then it slowly went away as I slowly worked it through. I started lifting, helping it get better, strengthening my hips, strengthening my calves. It helped the pain go away. I still feel it a little bit sometimes when I'm running, but it's gotten better. I'm hoping it's going to go away. But through all 4 years, I've experienced right hip pain, left hip pain, injuries in both my hips, injuries in my left foot, and I've experienced chronic knee pain, which I learned how to handle this past year with good amount of strength training. So here's a clip of me running at my last race in my high school career. This was our regionals race. And right now I'm going through the first lap. And I wanted to analyze this and break down my form a little bit because maybe that could play a part into injury. I know people that experience injury might have problems with their form that may be causing them to land awkwardly or put too much pressure on a certain spot, and that could be the cause for me, that could be a cause for you, that could be a cause for anyone. It could be the cause for a professional, you know? But here we are coming down the last 100-meter stretch of this lap, and if you look at this image, I know it's kind of blurry, you can see that my right foot is striking the ground kind of in front of me. It is in front of me, and I mean, that's overstriding. I overstride. That's something you definitely need to work on as a runner. So far I have mentioned aspects of your form and aspects of strength training to change your potential for risk, but I have not mentioned just simple recovery measures you can take in your running to stay injury-free. One of those being take your easy days easy. Another one being don't push so hard on workouts where it's not really required to. Your next race is in 3 months and you're pushing 170 beats per minute for 10 miles. Like, you don't need to do that if that might be too difficult for you at the time to continue progressing. So here's a look at my long run that caused my left hip to explode and really took me out of running a lot. Kind of caused all my injuries. I started feeling the pain at mile 6, and I finished out the run because it was the most important thing to me, I guess, to finish the run instead of worry about my hip. But yeah, as you see, I was going 6:46 pace, 168 beats per minute, kind of high. I was touching the 170s, and it was a hard run. I was struggling on it, and that made me realize that hard efforts like that, where you're just struggling, And doing them when I wasn't even doing a run like that, I wasn't even at 50 miles a week yet. I was 3 weeks into training after cross and just hammering it right there because I just wanted to get better. There's really no need to do that. Most of the time when a run like that would happen, around that time period when I was running, I most of the time worried about recovery and going slow on my easy runs. I always have, staying under like 150 beats per minute. But now I've even doubled down on that even more. This is a run I did today, and as you see, 8:24 mile, but look at the heart rate, 141. Every single easy run, I have been trying to average around low 140s to mid 140s. Mid 140s, I'm pushing it. This is my true 70% of my heart rate. 70% of my max heart rate is 140 beats per minute. If I truly stay around there, the risk of injury is almost non-existent. I'm not going to get injured going at this pace, and if I run at this pace 5 days a week, what injury risk do I have? And even though I am running at this pace 5 days a week, doesn't mean I get carried away on the hard runs. Even on the more intense runs, I focus more on the tempo aspect. That is also my weakness in running, my aerobic endurance, but it's still important to focus on keeping the intensity low. This was a run I did yesterday in the morning. As you can tell, it's a long run for me, right? At the current moment, hour-long run, about 8 miles-ish. Average pace, 7:34, 159 beats per minute. I did 4 times 1 minute on, 1 minute off on this workout instead of just doing 650 pace for 8 miles, which would have probably made me hurt and might have caused injury. And instead of that, I give myself the 1 minute rest to recover from the intensity. And suddenly, it's a much easier task. It's not demanding as much intensity from me. I'm not risking as much injury, and I'm still hitting the same pace that I want to with a less heart rate. Doing your easy runs at an intensity like that, and doing your long runs at an intensity like that, and just doing your workouts in general at a intensity like that, where it's not pushing you and you can recover immediately right after it. I mean, your legs might be a little sore from the volume, the sheer volume, but not the intensity itself. That is important in staying injury-free, and that's why I have learned the past 2 to 3 years of running that I am always injury-free when I focus on that instead of how much faster can I go in this rep, and each week looking forward to, how much faster can I go in my runs average this week. The last aspect I want to talk about is specifically strength training. Now, you might think, you're running distance, you don't need it. Yes, you do. If you have underlying problems like a weak left hip, it can skyrocket into having left knee pain, having left foot and ankle pain, because your left hip is not strong enough to handle the load that you're experiencing. Your other joints take it. Those joints get injured. When I started working on my left glute and my left hip, suddenly the left knee pain went away when I played basketball and bent my knee. Suddenly, my left foot was hurting less because I focused on strengthening the glutes and the hips, a weak point in my body. It's truly about strengthening the weaknesses in your body and the parts that can flare up and cause you to be injured. So all in all, it's really a focus on making sure that you're on top of your strength work, making sure your legs are nice and strong, and making sure, most importantly, that you're sleeping well every night so you can recover for your next run. And even with those two things, you don't want to push it. You don't want to try to get lucky and try to squeeze out some more fitness. Fitness is built from consistent efforts. If you try to push a little too hard one day and pull a muscle, now you're out for multiple weeks, up to a month, 2 months maybe, and you make no progress. It'd just be smarter to go a little slower on the workout where you're not breathing quite as hard. You're still moderately intense, but not super intense on the easy runs. If you're a guy where I'm at, amateur, 50 miles a week, runs 4:30 in the mile, you don't need trying to push 7 minute flat on the easy runs. If you're someone that's more aerobic, you're probably closer to 7:30 to 8 flat on your easy runs. For someone that's like me, it's closer to 8 to 8:30. I'm not as aerobic. So you just got to stay consistent, and that's important to recovery. I hope you can take away from this things that I have done to help prevent injury for myself and things I've noticed from my experience that always keep me injury free, and the things that I have done that have caused me to get injured, and do the opposite of those and do the things that I do to stay injury free. I hope you enjoyed watching. Have a good day.